What's up, guys? Welcome to Touchdown Talk, where everything and anything goes. I'm your host, Jason. And today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be going through our AFC South season predictions. Every other division is done and on the page, so go check all of those out. But without further ado, let's get into this division and the Jaguars. Week 1, they face division opponent Colts, and they get the win there. Week 2, they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, but bounce back with 2 straight wins against the Texans and the Falcons. Followed up by those 2 wins come 2 losses to the Bills and the Colts, but they come back with 2 wins against the Saints and the Steelers. A bit of an up and down season going into their bye week in Week 9. They come out of the bye and lose to the San Francisco 49ers, but strongly finish the season with wins over the Titans, the Texans, the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, the Bucks, the Panthers, and then they lose the last week to the Tennessee Titans, bringing their total to a 13-4 season with Tank Bigsby and Trayvon Walker as their breakout candidates. Next up is the Texans, and for their schedule, they lose Week 1 to the Ravens, but CJ Stroud bounced back with a win over the Colts, and then they fall off with 2 losses to the Jaguars and the Steelers. They regain control with wins over the Falcons and Saints and go into their bye week even. They come out of the bye week and lose to the Panthers, but bounce back right away with a win over the Bucks. They fall to the Bengals in a loss, but come back against the Cardinals with a win. Then they go on a little losing streak where they lose to the Jaguars, Broncos, Jets, and Titans, but come back with 2 straight wins against the Browns and the Titans. They end up losing the last week to the Colts, bringing their season to a 7-10 schedule full of ups and downs with Tank Dell and Jalen Petrie as their breakout candidates. Tank Dell is a guy that I love this year. If you didn't know the story, let me tell it to you real quick. Draft night, CJ Stroud gets drafted by the Houston Texans. Him and Tank Dell worked out in the offseason together. They grew a friendship in the offseason, and he texted Tank Dell, told him that he is going to get him in Houston. CJ Stroud then went to the front office and told them to draft Tank Dell, which is exactly what they did in the 3rd round, drafting CJ Stroud's new friend, Tank Dell. So their chemistry, their connection is going to be on all cylinders this year, and I think Tank Dell has a really good rookie season, and so does CJ Stroud. As for the rest of the division, let's get right into the Indianapolis Colts, where they struggle out of the gates with a loss to the Jaguars in Week 1, a loss to the Texans in Week 2, and a loss to the Ravens in Week 3. They do find their stride with wins over the Rams and Titans, but slowly fall to the Jaguars, Browns, Saints, and Panthers. They do end up beating the Patriots going into their bye week, and continue that with a win over the Bucks after the bye week. After the Buck game, they lose to the Titans, the Bengals, and the Steelers, followed up by 3 straight wins to end the season against the Falcons, Raiders, and Texans, bringing their season to 7-10 with Anthony Richardson and Julian Blackmon as the breakout candidates. This division is filled with rookies, including Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud, who are going to look to lead their teams in a division that's up for grabs, aside from the Jaguars, who obviously stand out. Last team in the division and the last team for my predictions is the Tennessee Titans. I have the Titans struggling this year. I do understand they have Derrick Henry. I do understand that they traded or picked up DeAndre Hopkins, but I still think they struggle, and I think they lose a lot of games early, including losses in Week 1 to the Saints, in Week 2 to the Chargers, Week 3 to the Browns, Week 4 to the Bengals, Week 5 to the Colts, and Week 6 to the Ravens, going 0-6 into their bye week. They come out of the bye week, and I think they continue to lose to the Falcons and the Steelers, but finally get their first win against the Buccaneers. I think they lose to the Jaguars and the Panthers, but come back with a win over the Colts. I think they lose to Miami, but come back against the Texans with the win, and then lose 2 straight to the Seahawks and Texans, but end the year on a win against the Jaguars, bringing their total to 6-11 with Nick Westbrook-Akime and Harold Landry as their breakout candidates. Now, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment your predictions for these 4 teams, and as always, I will see you guys next time.